Welcome to another FACEHAMMER show. It's pre-order Saturday of Megadeth, and by that I mean two books, one handbook. Trying to
changing
all the content. It's now dark outside, which is nice because it's not so hot. And we thought we would go down to the woods today and talk about the new SYLVANETH Battle Tome.
Going to be surprises in the woods?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Just opened this.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, thank you Games Workshop send us a copy in advance so we can do this review. We really appreciate the support. We are going to talk about all things match play. So we'll go through the book, match play rule relevant stuff, not narrative, open play, format of the book, painting, all that kind of stuff.
I can summarize it though, because they don't want people coming their trees and they're angry about it. Done.
Cool. Sounds good.
Is that a sweet 10 to 10 coffee that you just nagged?
It's decaf.
Okay.
Yes, it is a coffee. Yeah, but I do that because I need energy. So yeah, we're going to talk about SYLVANETH. We're for the match play rules. It's going to be our first impressions. Obviously, it's not out yet. We haven't played games with it. We'll be discovering it. We'll try and come up with ideas and find synergies and things. Obviously, hotly anticipated. Lots of people been waiting a long time for a SYLVANETH update.
They need some help, right? They're just feeling a bit behind the times currently. Some good players playing them. Matt Mello plays them very, very well, or did play them. But yeah, the book's definitely feeling like it needs an update.
Yeah, and we'll see if this does everything it needs to do. We don't know. We'll find out. So let's go on the journey together. And let's get into it. So we're going to crack straight into Allegiance abilities. We've got Glades. There's 7 of them. We will get to them in a minute. But basically, it gives you a keyword, gives you abilities, that kind of stuff. SYLVANETH were one of the first books back in the day that got these like grand battalions, which were kind of like these allegiance, but not allegiance.
Mega ones, yeah.
Yeah, and then they tied you in. The most recent one ties you into artifacts and things like that no longer happens, which is nice. So we've got the places of power rule. After territories are determined before faction terrain setup, you can pick 3 terrain on the battlefield that are wholly outside enemy territory. They are considered to be overgrown terrain features. At the start of your hero phase, you can heal 1 wound allocated to each SYLVANETH unit that is wholly within 9 of an overgrown terrain feature or friendly awakened wildwood.
Yep.
So get some growth on those terrain and get some heals. Got the From the Woodland Depths, which is kind of their stuck back in the day of teleporting and things like that. Walk the hidden paths once per turn. At the end of your movement phase, pick 1 SYLVANETH unit that is wholly within 9 of overgrown terrain or an awakened wildwood. Remove the unit from the battlefield and set up more than 9 from all enemy units and wholly within 9 of either a different overgrown terrain featured that is more than 3 from all enemy units or a different friendly awakened wildwood that is more than 3 from all enemy units. Lots of words. So it's 1 unit once per turn from 1 to a different piece of terrain or awakened wildwood, 9 away, and you can't go there if there's an enemy within 3 of it. So there's that.
Yeah, restricted, but there's quite a lot of pieces on the table. You've got to pick them, so you're normally going to be able to get one off.
Yeah, and you might be able to do something if there's some terrain that's, especially if their territory is quite small, there might be a piece of terrain on their side of the table that's not in their territory that could be overgrown. If you go first, you could teleport to that, and then, you know, it's there. I think that the teleport shenanigans are obviously a lot less than they used to be back in the old book. You've got strike and fade once per turn in your combat phase. Immediately after a SYLVANETH unit that is wholly within 9 of an overgrown terrain feature or awakened wildwood has fought, you can remove the unit from the battlefield and set it up again more than 9 from all enemy units and wholly within 9 of either a different overgrown. It's basically the same rule, but you do it in your combat phase after they fight.
Pretty tasty.
Quite powerful.
Yeah.
Because you can literally charge something, fight it, then bugger off before they hit you back.
Yeah.
So any fast, high impact units which are a bit fragile, can be really good. We'll get onto that later. Quite like that rule. It's in your phase, so you can't do it in their go.
Yeah, it'd be tasty, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe it got changed. I don't know. So, and then you've got Verdant Blessing, which is a spell in addition to other spells. Cast on a 6, range of 18. Set 1 ward with wholly within range, invisible, more than 3 from all enemy models, spells, invocation, terrain features, objectives.
So every Sylvaneth wizard knows that in addition to any other spells.
Which is good, so you don't have to take a lore spell slot to take Summon Wood. It's quite... I think it's quite hard to place, depending on the table. But obviously, Overgrown... The nice thing about the Overgrown rule is you can make terrain already on the table Overgrown, so you're not that bothered about, like, your woods.
Yeah, and you didn't have to pick this as a choice either. Everyone just knows it, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just know it, right? So... Then we've got another rule, a new one. Seasons of War. It's like, you know, this is a strange name, but, you know, as it is. So after you've picked a Sylvaneth army, you must pick which season applies to your army. So you've got Burgeoning, Reaping, Dwindling, and Everdusk. So Burgeoning, so Sylvaneth units that did not charge and are wholly within 9 of an overgrown terrain feature or ward would have a 6 at ward save, which is quite welcome.
Yeah.
The Reaping, which is add 3 to the range in which you can pick friendly units with the Places of Power and the Woodland Depths rule. So that's 12 rather than 9. The Dwindling, in the hero phase, you can reroll 1 cast, 1 unbind, 1 dispel, as long as the friendly wizard is wholly within 9 of an overgrown terrain feature or a wildwood. Then the Everdusk. Subtract 3 from the range within which you can pick friendly Sylvaneth from the Places of Power and the Woodland Depths. However, if the unmodified hit roll for an attack made by a melee weapon by a friendly Sylvaneth unit wholly within 6 of an overgrown terrain feature or a friendly awakened wildwood is 6, that scores 2 hits instead of 1.
That one seems a bit restricted.
Well, I think basically you reduce the range for a more powerful effect, which is every attack explodes if you're within range. So I think there are ways to, like, I think some units count as overgrown. Like I think the Lady of Vines does, so you can have a mobile one, and obviously, like, if you're playing defensively, maybe you can. I don't know. I think for me, the ward save is probably the go-to, but
just, I mean, in an army like this, it seems like a super solid choice.
Yeah, so those are the seasons. It's quite a cool idea. That's a new rule. So
yeah, and you just tell your opponent at the start of the game, I've got this. It's on my, you know, they've seen it on your scroll anyway. It's not like something that's going to be forgotten or I gotcha'd. Quite neat and clean.
Got some command traits. So aspects of war. Sylvaneth heroes. So we've got Gnarled Warrior. Ignore modifiers, positive and negatives for save rolls.
Sure.
So make yourself ethereal. Pretty good. Obviously it does mean you can't use Mystic Shield, things like that. So all that defense.
And anyone with the 3+, that's going to look pretty good.
Pretty tasty, right?
Yeah.
Lord of Spites. In the combat phase, subtract 1 for the attacks of many weapons used by enemy units to a minimum of 1 that finish a pile-in move in 3 of the general until the end of the phase.
Nearly as good as minus hits. But the better your opponent is, the more elite they are, the better that would feel. But
the important thing is they don't have to hit you. They just have to be within 3 of you after they pile in.
Just a debuffing source, yeah.
Warsinger. If the general's on the battlefield start of your movement phase, add 3 to the move of friendly Sylvaneth units to start a move wholly within 12 until the end of that phase. Quite strong.
Movement, yeah. Good. Gnarled Warrior and Warsinger are both good.
I mean, they're all good, honestly. Yeah. Aspects of Renewal. This is Wizard Hero only. These are command traits, just to reiterate that. Nurtured by magic once per turn in your hero phase. If the general successfully casts a spell, it's not unbind, you can pick a friendly Sylvaneth unit wholly within 18, heal D3 wounds.
Nice options, have.
Yeah. Spell Singer. When the general attempts to cast a spell before making the casting roll, pick one friendly awakened wildwood on the battlefield. If you do, the spell is successfully cast. If you do so and the spell is successfully cast, not unbunged, you must measure the range of visibility from that spell from a friendly awakened wildwood. Ugh, words. So you can cast 3 wildwoods.
Yeah, it's good.
Could be potentially great for endless spells.
Yeah. Or, I mean, you know, just buffing your entire line from one place. Or having the option to buff it from it. You got Radiant Spirit as the last one. Each time a friendly Sylvaneth unit wholly within 12 this general is affected by a spell or endless spell, you can roll a dice on a 4+ and ignore the effect. So, I mean, it's quite a big bubble.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it is wholly within 12. It's a 4-up ignore. I mean, they're all good. Like, there's none of these that you go, oh, that's bad.
This is how I want to see a this is how I want to see a page of enhancements. Like, make a decision. None of these are like, obviously I'm not taking that, or obviously that one is the best.
So I'm into artifacts now, I think.
Yep. So this is Boons of the Evergreen, Sylvaneth hero only.
Good. I'm in the wrong order, but I got there.
So we've got the Greenwood Gladius. Pick one of the bearer's melee weapons at the start of the combat phase. Roll a d3. Add the result to the attacks characteristic of that weapon at the end of the phase. Get 1 to 3 extra attacks on a specific weapon.
It's good on the Spirit of Durfu, I think.
Yeah. Crown of Felbowers. At the end of the combat phase, pick one enemy unit within 6 of the bearer. It's quite a long range. Add 1 to the wounds. The start of the combat phase. Add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made by friendly Sylvaneth units that target that unit in that phase. 6 is a pretty long way to be able to have +1 to wound rolls. There's no roll.
Because you pick the unit, so you don't even need to be in combat. You could just run and be within 6. You know,
we like buffing wound rolls here. That's good. That's powerful. That's solid. As long as your dude can get into position, so bear on a faster unit, or your opponents had to come to you. Seed of Rebirth. Heard that one before. The first time the bearer is slain, before removing it from play, roll a dice. On a 1, he's dead. On a 2+, the bearer is not slain. You can heal up to d3 wounds allocated to them. And any wounds that remain to be allocated them are negated. So come back with 1 to 3 wounds. Not come back. Don't die.
Yeah. But it does stop all the damage over your wounds.
Yeah.
They just don't count.
Just ended. The moment you're dead, you didn't die. 1 to 3 wounds. 2+ is pretty reliable as well, isn't
it? There's people out there like, no, I rolled a 1.
No. I mean,
any artifact that doesn't work all the time, 100% of the time, is complete trash, apparently, according to the 91 chat. That's what I'm
saying. Obviously. I mean, that's 9 good options to pick from there.
Well, that's that's an artifact, so
yeah,
you've got the 9 traits, but you're also into artifacts now, so
yeah.
Nature. 6 traits, and then
6 traits, and then
6 artifacts.
Yeah, it's just they're spread around slightly strangely.
Yeah, they just split them. I don't know why. Some are hero only, wizard only. Sorry, some aren't.
Got two blank bottoms of pages here. Anyway,
I think the book they needed to bulk out a bit. That's why some of the warscrolls have got nice pictures of Slangor Fiendbloods and stuff.
I did notice we got the Scathe one and the Sylvaneth one at the same time.
The Scathe one's like rammed with rats,
and it weighs more.
And it weighs like more. And this one's like nicely spread out with pictures.
There's lots of gaps between these trees. Anyway. One of those gaps has in it the Acorn of the Ages. Once per battle, at the start of your hero phase, if the bearer is on the battlefield, you can set up to 1 Awakened Wildwood terrain feature wholly within 12 of the bearer, and more than 3 from all other models and the spells, invocations, terrain features, and objectives, and add it to your army. You're going to want this when you've got a spell that can allow you to do the same thing. Is this more powerful?
It's automatic.
Yeah.
So there's no cast. You don't give up your cast. You don't have to roll a dice. They can't unbind it. Maybe. Like, it was always a popular option to have a wood setup, but I think the other artifacts, it depends how many you got. I mean, like, if you only have 1, there's a lot of competition here, so maybe not. I think a bit like the Idnef boat is good because the others are so bad, basically. So, like, I don't know.
Luneth's Lamp is next. The bearer can attempt to banish 1 invocation in the hero phase, even if they're not a priest. Add 2 to the dispelling rolls and banishment rolls for the bearer. So adding, like, it's not just for anti-invocations. Add 2 to dispelling rolls. that's a good thing.
Yeah, just get rid of endless spells only to spell. But yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
So
the Vesperal Gem. Once per turn in your hero phase, before the bearer attempts to cast a spell from the lore of the Deepwood, instead of making casting roll, you can use the gem. The spell is automatically cast and cannot be unbound. After the effect of the spell has been resolved, roll a dice. On a 1, the bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds. Once per turn, just do a spell.
oh, it's every turn. It's not once per game.
No.
Okay, that's very good.
That's nuts.
Especially if you know the whole lore, right?
Yeah, that would be really good. Segue.
Maybe. Should we talk about the lore of the Deepwood?
Yeah, let's do it. Used to be some real weird, janky stuff in their lore that felt odd, so it would be nice if that was changed. Hopefully it is. Starting with Throne of Vines. Yeah, that was the one.
It was, yeah, the one that stayed on you forever. Throne of Vines cast on a 9. That's high.
A lot.
If cast at the end of each phase until the start of your next hero phase, you can heal 1 wound allocated to the caster. Wow.
That's lots different. High casting values would definitely be reasons to say that you automatically cast something as well.
It's quite a cool effect if you think about, like, you almost I think a lot of like computer games where you get like covered and it's like slowly heals you each turn, like each second, like heal over time. Hots. It's the hot of the Sylvaneth book.
9 is a lot for your hot though.
But you could auto cast that with your thing.
You absolutely could with your gem. Regrowth is next. A lot less. Cast on a 5, range of 18. Pick 1 friendly Sylvaneth unit, wholly within range. You can heal up to D6 wounds. Plenty. Lots of variation within a D6, but solid. And a 5 and an 18. So quite easy to get off.
The Dwellers Below. The old favourite.
That is old school. Casting value is 7, range of 12. Pick 1 enemy unit within range. Not wholly within. And visible, and roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in that unit. Each 5+1 mortal wound. Pretty solid. If you got someone who you don't mind being in the action.
It's nice that the models in the unit don't have to be within 12. It's just the unit.
Yeah, it is.
Because those spells, when they had the Gaunt Summoner, it was like models. It was like every model within that range you roll a dice. Now it's just the units in range roll 30 dice. There's 30 models, you know. Deadly Harvest.
Yeah, that's going to be tasty as well.
Deadly Cast Harvest. On a 6, range of 3. Each enemy unit within range takes D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, it's okay. Not really.
Yeah, it's blowing yourself up in a very, very narrow.
Might be okay if you were in a protracted combat and you're survivable. So
yeah,
I mean the damage will tick up, but
yeah,
I think there's better spells.
Chances to damage multiple units, but only if you're surrounded by multiple and they're close to you. Virtuous
Harmony.
It's Verdurous.
Verdurous.
I don't. That's a word. It means something to do with greenery. Casting value of 7, range of 18. If successfully cast, pick 1 friendly Sylvaneth unit wholly within range and visible. Can return 1 slain model to that unit. If you pick Dryads, Tree Revenants, or Spike Revenants, D3 models instead of 1.
Pretty good.
Deal. Yeah.
Get a model back.
On a 7, get D3 models back.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're like shit models, right? But if you're putting like a Kurnoth Hunter back or one of those new bug things, whatever they're called,
range of 18 as well, not bad at all. You've got Tree Song, casting value of 7, range of 16. Pick 1 friendly Awakened Wildwood within range until the start of your next hero phase. Improve the rend characteristic of melee used by friendly Sylvaneth units by 1 while they're wholly within 9. Improving rend is good.
I mean, it's every unit within range of that Wildwood as well.
Yeah.
So if you've got like a wood and then you've got like multiple things fighting in like a line, they will get +1 rend. The enemy unit doesn't have to be in range. You have to be in range.
Type thing to play around, isn't it? You drop that wood there for turn 3 when you go crazy.
It's quite good defensively because you can cast it and have your army around it and be like, well, charge me then.
That's a really big difference, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Every unit, it could be 4 or 5 units affected by that. A couple of heroes in there. Tasty.
Should we talk about... Yeah, I think so. Lots of healing, lots of returning models, some buffs, not so much damage output, but it's not really their stuck, is it? So about the glades.
Yeah, 7's a weird number.
Oh, I think it's just what they had. Like they're taken this because it's in the law, right? They can't really change the ones that they've already done. So you got Oakenbrow, roots run deep. When determining which row to use on the damage table of an Oakenbrow Tree Lord, Ancient Spirit Durfu, it is treated as suffered half the wounds, rounding up. So you bracket less. Null Root was the old form popular one with the casting. Once per turn, when you make a casting roll and binding roll for a Null Root wizard that is whole of 9 of an overgrown terrain feature or wildwood, you can roll 3d6 instead of 2d6. If you do, remove 1 dice of your choice from the roll and then use the remaining dice for the cast or unbind. So it's 3d6, pick the highest cast or lowest if you want to. I don't know why you would, but there you go.
Tree Lord's a battle line in Oakenbrow army, by the way. It was just
okay, cool.
Stuff. So that that's a thing for sure.
Monster Mash not so good in this handbook though. Heartwood, he's probably not a monster. No, he's not a hero. He's a monster, not a hero, isn't he? So, Heartwood, which is after deploying, but before the first battle round begins, you pick up to 3 different enemy units on the battlefield to be the quarry of the hunt. If you do, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by Heartwood units that target those units. So,
Kernoths are battle line in a Heartwood army.
Could be quite good as well because you could say, I'm going to pick your Galatian veterans. If you don't know what we're talking about, check out the handbook review show that's also out today.
Changes.
And it's hit rolls for attack, shooting, and melee. So not just melee.
Yeah.
Ironbark, stand firm. Use the command ability to start the enemy combat phase. The unit receives the command must be a friendly Ironbark unit that is within 3 of an enemy unit. That made a charge in the same turn. Pick 1 enemy unit within 3 of that friendly Ironbark unit. Roll a dice. On a 2+, they take D3 mortal wounds. You can use this command ability more than once in the same phase, but if you do so, you cannot pick too many words, too many caveats. But basically, when they charge you, use a command point to do D3 mortals. I think that's pretty bad.
On a 2+, yeah.
Because you roll a 1. Spend a command point, roll a 1. Great.
Next, onto Winterleaf.
Pass. And also start the enemy combat phase, so you can't use other commands on that unit in that phase. That is trash. We don't like that.
That is poop soup.
That is awful, isn't it?
It doesn't change who's battle line or anything either.
Winterleaf. Enemy units within 3 inches of a friendly Winterleaf unit cannot retreat. In addition, if you pick Everdusk for the Winterleaf army, enemy units within 3 of a friendly Winterleaf unit cannot be removed from the battle from effect that would allow them to be set up again later. That's really good.
I mean, yeah, great.
Can't retreat and can't teleport away.
Solid. Play on your terms.
I like that one. That's subtle, but I like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's powerful. Dreadwood does affect battle line. Spite Revenants are battle line in the Dreadwood army.
Once per battle, you can use the Walk the Hidden Paths twice in the same turn. But if you do so, at least one of the units must be Spite Revenants. In addition, once per battle, you could use the Strike and Fade twice, but they must be a friendly Dreadwood Spite Revenant unit. Now, I think the new combat bug guy is a Spite Revenants keyword, but we'll check when we get there. And Harvest Boon.
Ride Lancers a battle line in this one.
Yeah, I can see that they're the ones that get buffed. So it says after deployment before the first battle round begins, you can move each Harvest Boon, Spite Rider Lancer, and Seeker unit 12 inches. If both units can move before the first battle round, they must roll off. Winner chooses who moves their units first.
12 is tons.
That's a big move.
That is huge. And they're not slow.
No, that could be potentially great.
Swarming. Okay, so apart from Ironbark being poop soup, decent selection there. A bit of variety, affecting battle line. Solid.
Then we've got some grand strategies and battle tactics. So these will be more prevalent now with the new handbook.
Yeah, much harder.
Chorus of the Woodlands. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if you completed at least 4 battle tactics, and every battle tactic was from the Songs of War list.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's in a couple. Pending, yeah. Vengeance and Spite. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy if the model picked to be your opponent's general was slain by an attack made by a friendly outcast unit. Don't know what an outcast is.
No.
And the roots
That
of
seems difficult though.
Yeah, definitely. And then the roots of victory. When the battle ends, you complete its grand strategy. If there's a friendly awakened wildwood in each quarter of the battlefield, and all enemy units 1/6 from friendly awakened wildwoods, bad.
Or
All bad. Don't
All
like any
bad.
of those.
Drika's outcast.
Sure. That's not.
Yeah.
That's just not. It's just bad, right?
Yeah, it is. I think you not. I reckon probably going to go to the new GHP. Have a little look there.
Is there a shooting outcast unit? Is the only question, really.
I'm trying to find the word outcast. I've only seen it once.
It's probably just Spite Revenants and Drycha, I imagine.
Revenants. Yeah, True Revenants don't have it.
No.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
Let's look at the battle tactics.
Okay then. So these better be doable because Chorus of the Woodlands demands that you do 4 out of 5 of these. Oh wait, and it demands that you do 4 or 5 of these, unless you picked one other one from the other battle tactics and didn't achieve it. So let's go.
Eradicate trespassers. Pick an enemy unit within 6 of an awakened wildwood. Complete this if that unit is destroyed. That's pretty good.
Could come up at some point. Yeah.
Harness the spirit paths. Complete this battle tactic for any models in the friendly Sylvaneth unit that was set up from using the woodland depths made a charge. Bit RNG, but there might be ways to buff it with an end spell.
Yet it is A, so you could be trying multiple.
Yeah, but you only teleport 1 unit a turn.
Oh god.
Unless the tree lords have got a rule, but it might be a different rule that you, because it says use from the woodland depths battle trait. So even if they've got a rule on their war scroll, that's not the battle trait. So we'll get there, but I don't think that's very good. Balance the cycle. Pick 1 enemy unit in 12 of an overgrown terrain feature or awaken wildwood. You complete this battle type. The unit is destroyed by attack made by a friendly Sylvaneth unit that was added to your army this turn.
Basically shoot them.
But you've got to add the unit that turn as well. So the unit that kills them got to be the unit you add.
Yeah, so have a load of shooting and shoot them with the last thing being that, because if you picked a melee one and they had to make that charge, that's already not good.
These aren't great. I'm not going to lie.
It's not a good page.
March of the Forest Lords. Pick an enemy monster on the battlefield. You pick its battle tactic. That monster is slain by attack made by a Spirit of Durfu, Tree Lord Ancient, or Tree Lord. Not so bad. They got shooting.
The right army. Yeah.
They got shooting. That's okay. Unleash Gyron's Wrath. Pick 1 friendly Sylvaneth Wizard. You complete this battle if a spell successfully cast by that wizard or an end of spell summoned by that wizard destroys an enemy unit this turn.
This page is awful.
Pappy pap.
Yeah, this is like that is a complete swing and miss. That page. So
I mean, you could auto cast a spell, but it's so situational.
If your opponent's got like 1 wound left, and
you could bolt and then kill it, maybe.
Or like Quicksilver Swords or something to get more dice.
Yeah, maybe. Or Purple Sun and hope you roll a 1.
Guy like lean on the GHB, and they're quite hard in the GHB. I mean,
it says you don't have to pick the unit you destroy. So if you put a Purple Sun into the middle of like 4 or 5 things that have got single models, you might kill one, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. No, it's bad.
Clutching.
There's definitely nothing clutch about that. That's for sure.
No, that's a poopy page.
Speaking of poopy pages, we've got a core battalion with Lords of the Clan, which is 1 to 4 Tree Lord Ancient and 1 to 3 Tree Lords, and you get command points, get an extra command point formation.
Nothing to write home about. Take those 2 pages together, guys.
You can just move on. Nothing to see here.
No, not at all. Let's hopefully things get better with Alariel. Although she was pretty solid already.
Yeah. Well, she got updated in Broken Realms, didn't she? Yeah. So she's fast, 16 inches, fast, 16 wounds, 3 up armor save, 24-inch shoot and attack, 2s. Why not? Rend 2, damage 6.
840 points. Got to do quite a lot for 840, but
the Dwindling Tannin, 4 attacks, freeze 4s, no rend 1 damage, sure. And the Antlers, freeze 2s, rend 2 damage 5. She's got a free cast wizard. It knows all the spells of the law.
Okay, good law.
You can heal 2d6 wounds allocated to this unit in your hero phase.
That's lots.
Once per battle at the end of your hero phase, if the unit's been destroyed, you roll a dice and add the number of the current battle round. On a 6 or more, you can set this unit up on the battlefield wholly within 12 and overgrown terrain feature with 8 wounds allocated to it.
Nasty. She's not going to die turn 1, so
you can do it. So you don't have to do it until you're guaranteed. So on turn 5, she's guaranteed to come back, right? Because you roll a dice on turn battle round 5, you roll a 1, you add 5, that's 6. She's back.
Wouldn't it be so cool if you like dropped her on the table and then just Spear of Kurnoth off something for like
charge?
Yeah, that'd be tasty.
She can't cast. It's end of the hero phase, so
yeah. Her spear is wicked. Range 24, 2s, Ren 2, damage 6 when she's unwounded.
Damage 5 when you come back from your
of course,
thing,
yeah.
But still good. Still auto kill a hero or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's before she's died. That's good too.
D6 mortals on a stomp if they got 1 wound on a rampage. Once per battle end of your movement phase, summon one of the following units. 1 Dryad's 20 models, Tree Revs up to 10, Spike Ribbons up to 10, Kurnoths up to 3, Branch Lord, Tree Lord.
Yeah.
9 inches, 9 away.
Yep.
Unit can retreat, shoot, and or charge later in the turn.
Great.
At the end of the combat phase, any wounds inflicted by the talent dwindling were allocated to an enemy model not negated, and the enemy model has not been slain. Roll a dice on a 6, it's dead.
Yep.
I mean, great. Metamorphosis 7 or 7, range is 16. Pick an enemy unit in range. Roll a number of dice equal to the casting roll. Every 3 up is a mortal wound. That's a great spell.
It's brilliant spell.
If the unit's destroyed by a mortal wound caused by the spell before removing the last model, you can set 1 Awakened Wildwood, consisting of 1 serial piece wholly within 12 of that model, 1 free from all other models. So get a tree out of it. And Warrior Life, once per battle, start of your hero phase, you can say Ilaria will give voice to the verse The Right of Life. If you do, to the end of that turn, all terrain features on the battlefield that are not already considered to be overgrown are overgrown.
That's what you want from a linchpin. She does loads of stuff. And then comes back to life.
She's pretty good, right?
She's heroic. Absolutely.
Feels like a god level, right?
Yeah, feels about right for 840, was it?
Should be Archeon level.
Yeah.
For that.
No, she's badass.
I really like that Life Bloom thing. That's cool.
I think
she heals 2d6 as well. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you could take her down. Like all the spells heal as well. She could heal like all her wounds back in 1 turn easily.
Absolutely.
So you kind of got to do her in a 1-er, then she can come back. And how bad would it be if you like turn 4 or 3, you just roll the dice and hope she comes back because you need it, and you roll it.
Well, you're going to have a super interesting decision, right? Like you're like, well, this is important. This is a clutch moment. If I got her back,
do I wait 1 turn?
Yeah. Or do I wait and get it on like anything?
One better roll than anything but a 1. Oh, there's the 1.
That's a I think that's like Great level. That's what it should be. She does what she should. Yeah, win. Okay. Well, that page is better than the last page.
We'll move on. Lady of Vines.
Lady of the Vines. Yeah.
This is the Echoes of Doom character. So movement 8, 10 wounds, 3 up save, 18-inch Cornholio's Ref, or whatever that is. 2s, one rend d6 damage. Again, amazing shooting attack.
Yeah. 2s and 2s, yes, please.
Some attacks, sure. Warmaster, 2 cast wizard.
All right.
Friendly Sylvaneth units within 6 are treated as being wholly within 6 or Awakened Wildwood. So that is your trigger for your stuff that you want to do. For your winter boon, whatever it's called. Your dusk with winter leaf dusky list. I don't know what it is. The words, you know what I mean. The winter one.
Trees in that.
The season, the winter of duskiness.
Nighttime trees.
Raving Vines at the start of the combat phase. If this unit's within 3 of an enemy unit, you can say this unit will either create a predator barrier or ensnare its foes. If it does barrier, subtract 1 from hit rolls that targets unit. If it does ensnare, add 1 to hit rolls made by this unit.
Good options have.
Sure, it's fine. Rouse to Wrath. Once per battle, if this unit is on the battlefield at the end of your movement phase, you can say it will call allies forth, roll a dice on a 2 plus summon 1 unit 10 Dryads, add it to your army, 9 away, blah blah blah.
Good.
Aspects of the Everqueen. Cast on a 7, range 12. Friendly Sylvaneth units have a ward of 5 while they're wholly within range of the caster. 12-inch 5-up ward bubble. Pretty powerful.
I mean, 325 points this model. You're very likely to drop a unit of Dryads. It's got a really badass spell. Got an alright shooting attack. 10 wounds, 3 up. Is a War Master. Doesn't have an after save, but if it's put the spell on, does have an after save of 5+ for its 10 wounds. Movement 8, pretty fast. Probably about right.
Yeah, unique as well, so no artifacts traits, but then you can heal yourself because you can take from the Deepwood lore, and then yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you probably would pick a heal, wouldn't you, as one of the spells?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Dreicher, Hammerdreth, Ham Fist. 10 wounds, 3 up save, move 9. Got the Colony of Flitter Furies, 10 attacks, 3 3s, 1/1 damage. It's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah, it is.
2-inch reach, 4 attacks, 3 3s, 2 damage 2, and 10 attacks, 3 3s, 1/1 damage. War Master again also is a cast 1 spell, unbind 1 spell. If the modified hit roll for attack made by the Colony of Flitty Furies or Swarm of Squirmlings is a 6, the target suffers a mortal wound and the attack sequence end. So that's 6s do mortals with your 10 shooting and your 10 combat.
Yeah, great.
You get your embittened or enraged. So if it's enraged, then increase the shooting attack to 20. And if it's embittened, increase its Squirmlings to 20. So 20 dice, 6s do mortals, pretty good.
I mean, anytime you're going to have 30 dice, 6s doing mortals between your combat and your ranged, that's fine.
We got another wound roll buff. Add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made by Spite Revenants wholly within 18 of this unit.
Big ass bubble. She's not got a small base. She's on an oval, so that's the table in some situations.
Then we have a Primal Terror. Spell is a cast on a 6, a range of 12. 2d6. Each enemy unit within range has a bravery characteristic lower than the roll suffers D3 mortal wounds. Roll separately for each unit.
Sure.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bubble. D3 mortals to everything within 12, right? I mean, it depends. If you roll a 10 on that bravery test, you're going to be laughing, aren't you?
Well, you only need to hit 1 unit for that to feel like not bad for a 6. 3 points there. 10 more than Lady of Vines. I mean, that's 20 range 12 shooting attacks doing mortals, and if they don't, they're still rend 1 damage 1. 3s and 3s.
Solid. 3 up armor save as well.
Absolutely solid. Yeah, we've only seen 3 up so far in the squishy Sylvaneth, so I guess things going downhill.
Wow. The Warsong Revenant comes tooting in. Obviously, he only got his leggings on, that's it, so he's a bit squishy. Again, 7 wounds, 5 up armor save, 3-inch reach, 5 attacks, 3 3s, from 1 damage, 2 damage. Falchion, whatever. Wizard, 2 spells. Alariel's Song. Add 1 to the bravery of Sylvaneth units while they're wholly within 12 of any friendly units with this ability. Subtract 1 for the bravery of enemy units while they're within 12 of any units with this ability. So that's synergy with Dreicher. 4 up ward save. So there you go. There's your resistance coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather that than a 3 up save.
Add 1 to cast a spell and unbind while this unit was wholly within 9 of overgrown terrain or wildwoods, and unleash Swarm of Spites as spells. Cast on a 7, range of 9, successfully cast, roll a number of dice equal to the casting roll. For each enemy unit within range, on a 5 up, they take a mortal wound.
Nice.
Pretty good spell. I mean, some of these spells are pretty damagey. There are a lot of mortal wounds and stuff.
Not from the lore, but a lot of the people have got pokes or things that have synergy. 305 points as well.
Expensive. So. Not unique, I assume.
No. But like 2 cast, 2 unbind on something that's effectively got 14 wounds with a 5 up save because it's 7 wounds with a 4 up.
And they fly?
Yeah.
So I think he used to know the whole lore, so interesting.
You got 3 characters of around similar points that all do very different things.
All very good as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've got the Arch Revenant. They remind me a little bit of the Magaflords. Different, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're kind of that thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got an Arch Revenant, movement 12, 6 wounds for a armor save. So 4 attacks, 3 Ren, 2 damage 1, but I believe you get a charge bonus. And then some pincers off his little bug. Start the combat phase, you can say he's adopting defense or aggressive. If he's defense, it's a 4 ward. If it's aggressive, add 1 to the attacks. Sure, you're going to be getting ward most of the time.
Yeah.
Add 1 to wound rolls for Colonel Hunters wholly within 12. So that's a nice little bubble.
Not melee, just wounds. Yeah.
Call to battle. Use this once per turn at the start of the combat phase. The unit that receives must be Sylvaneth. Add 1 to the attacks of melee weapons used by a unit until the end of the phase.
Sure. 120 points he is. For basically what's going to read as 6 wounds.
A mobile buff, right?
4 up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not a bad damage profile either. And not slow at all. 12 inches.
Yeah. His glaive's a bit disappointing. I thought it'd have a charge bonus or something, but seems a bit.
And 2's all right.
Yeah. It's 1 damage though, 4 attacks. It's
I guess he's a buff piece, isn't he? If it like, he'd have to be a lot more points if he was actually like badass in combat.
I think I'd just rather have him do a bit more. But anyway, that's my personal preference. Spirit of D, big D. It's got a Verdant Blast, 6 shots. It goes down as he takes damage. 15-inch range, 4's freeze. Ren 1, 2 damage. So it's 4's. It's like 14 wounds, 3 up save. His sword, I think, has gone down. It's damage 6, so he's got 3 attacks. Freeze, Ren 2. And he's got a Talon, 2's, Ren 2, damage 3. You could do a Rampage. Pick an enemy in 3, roll a dice on a 3, plus they get straight last. It's pretty strong.
Cool. That's great ability.
And especially with Hunters of the Halfland going away.
Yeah.
Spirit Path, start your movement phase. This unit's holding in 6 of an overgrown. They can basically teleport. So you can teleport without using the hidden path rule.
Cool.
Again, that wouldn't count for the battle tactic because it's a Spirit Path rule, not a hidden path rule. Add 1 to the attacks of this Guardian Sword if it's holding within 9 of an overgrown terrain or awakened wildwood. So, yeah, so you'd end up with extra attack.
With 4 attacks on your 6 damage sword, that's 3's and 3's, Ren 2.
Plus D3 if you take the blade, right? So,
yeah.
Between.
Yeah, he's not unique.
Yeah. So he's kind of your combat hero, caddy thing, monster.
370 points.
Not bad.
No.
Quite cheap for what he is, I think.
Yeah, I think so. He's slow in comparison to everything we've seen so far, so I guess.
But you can get +3 move and you can teleport, so
yeah.
Slow is slow, right? It's relative. Yeah. Treelord Ancient, 18-inch range with his Doom's Tendril Staff, 2 shots, 2's freeze, Ren 1, damage 3, 14 wounds, 3 up armor save again. He's got some attacks, 5 attacks, freeze, Ren 1, 2 damage, and his Talon, 2's, Ren 2, damage 3. So pretty. You think he's gone up in damage output a little bit?
Yeah,
he's still only. He's only a 1-cast wizard still, really.
Yeah.
He's got Ground Shaker. He's got Spirit Path, and then Silent Communion. Once per battle in your hero phase, if it's on the battlefield, set up an Awaken Wildwood, so you can bet a free Wildwood.
Woods everywhere.
On Awaken in the Wood on a 6, pick a friendly Wildwood on the battlefield. Each enemy unit in 3 takes D3 more wounds. It's quite good because people will probably be standing next to them to shut them off, but then if they're shut off, then you can cast this. I mean, there used to be that rule of waking them up, but I don't know if that might be on the War Scroll, so we'll get there in a minute.
360 points for this guy.
Yeah, I think now that they've added in those other heroes and they lore and they've got more spells, I don't know how. They used to be an auto pick to have one because you need the wizard and stuff, but I don't know how. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of choice now.
Yeah.
Treelord, 14 wounds for up save again. Strangle Roots, basically 2's freeze, Ren 1, 2 damage, 3 attacks. Range 12, so some attacks. 3-inch reach, which is nice. 5 attacks, freeze, Ren 1, 2 damage, and the same with the Talon is the same. Ground Shaker is again the straight last. Spirit Paths is the teleport, Lash and Tangle. An attack made by a melee weapon by shoot scores a hit. Models at the target unit cannot make piling moves.
Nice.
It's okay.
They're cheap. I went to double check because I thought I remember they were 260, and they can be battle line in Oak and Brow.
Yeah, I mean that pretty cool. If you run like 4 of those, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
it's like what,
take them nearly
1,040, and you've got 4 of those.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool army. I mean, like
absolutely. Pretty likely to make things ASL if you're running 4 of those as well.
Yeah, but I think it's a rampage. You can do it once.
Oh, only try it once. Yeah.
You can carry this monstrous rampage instead of any other monstrous rampage you carry this unit.
Does that mean? Yeah,
I still think you only do it once.
Yeah, but the wording is a bit.
The wording's a bit ambiguous, isn't it?
I would roar, but instead I'm going to do this. I would stomp, but instead I'm going to do this.
Yeah. So could you do it multiple times? I don't think you can.
Like you could, but that's not the intent.
I don't think it's the intent.
Yeah, it's not the intent, is it?
Branch Witch. No Branch Wraith anymore, right? So
no, not like it.
Because it doesn't have a model. You have to use the old Dreicher model, that's why.
Yeah,
so 2-inch reach, 3 attacks, freeze, and 1 damage. A bit disappointing for that, I think. It's a wizard. Add 1 to hit and win rolls for attacks made by melee weapons by the unit works hardly within 9. Sure, don't care.
Yeah, not when its attacks aren't very good.
Unleash Spites as a spell on a 5, range of 9. What number of dice equals to the cast roll for each enemy unit within range for each 5-up mortal wound. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean,
AoE bubble 9 away. So
that's the only, like, it's a wizard. You're not low on wizards in the army, and it's 130 points, which is more than the
doesn't really do anything, does it?
No, it does its spell.
It doesn't. It has a spell which is really situational, needs positioning.
Like, if you have an Arch Revenant, you want to spend about
that
many.
It might be nice if you're doing that defensive blob and they come in and then you get your hero phase and you cast that as pretty.
Yeah.
I think you can have quite a nasty magic phase with this army. If you took a lot of casters, there's a lot of mortal wound output.
You get tons, yeah.
As long as you've got a survivable blob, have that 6-up ward on your army if you're within range and stuff. You could do some stuff with that. So just stuff, you could do stuff. That's my analysis. Like, listen to me.
New stuff then.
Gossamer Archers. Awful paint job.
It's dreadful, isn't it?
Look at those fiend bloods staring down.
First time I've ever seen those.
Murder cows. I like the paint job on the one, like the sidebar, but not the ones below it.
Agreed, yeah. Entirely.
Gossamer Bow. So these guys, they're a bit controversial with the Echoes of Doom. They're movement 12. They've got 12-inch range. They've got freeze, 2 attacks, freeze, no rend, 1 damage. They don't have, I didn't know if they had keywords that would work with us. Stuff doesn't look like it. If the amount of a hit roll for an attack made by a Gossamer Bow is a 6, they take D3 mortal wounds. The attack sequence ends. I mean, it's a bit like, you say like long strikes and you get like 2 dice, and if you're on a 6, they take mortals. It's like, it's kind of similar, but they're only a 12-inch range. They move 12. If they've got a better coherency, they've got a 2-inch coherency, probably because it's got wings.
Yeah.
And then after it's received Unleash Howl and all its shooting attacks to be resolved, if it's within 3 of an enemy, you can roll a dice on 2+, you can retreat. So it's okay. Like that sounds really good, but I still think that's very situational.
They're so squishy, aren't they?
Yeah. How many points are they? 200 something?
Gossamer Archers 220 for 5, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 wounds for a 5-up save. Yeah, they could do some damage. I know that they seem cheap if you compare it to long strikes, but they don't have a 30-inch range shooting out of sequence.
No, they certainly don't.
And they're not got a 4-up armor save. Yeah, they're fast, but then you got to move within range to be close, and then you can unleash hell to then retreat, but then that's your command point gone, and then if you can charge it with something else because you've positioned them, so there's nowhere for them to really go.
They're proper. You're gonna have to play your tits off to use that unit well.
I think they're a big investment, aren't they?
Yeah, they absolutely are.
Because I know people go, oh, the shooting profile, and you get 10 shots, and every 6 is D3. And I'm like, yeah, but or you could just take like a Treeman Ancient, like a Durfu. 14 wounds, 3-up armor save with a shooting attack,
wear an item.
Yeah, and I'm like, do I? I mean, they might be good. I don't know. I'm sure they will see them on the table. Not
absolutely. Yeah.
These are interesting. So Spike Rider Lancers, 14-inch move, 5 wounds, 4 up armor save, so they count as 2 on objectives. They're obviously mounted, so they're not going to be Galatian veterans, but you could give them +1 damage. 2-inch reach, 4 attacks, freeze, Ren 2 damage to 1, and 3 attacks, freeze, Ren 1 damage.
I look a lot better with 2 damage.
Well, the strike first attack effect applies if it made a charge, so they're strike first on the charge.
Yep.
14-inch moves very fast. At the end of each phase, any models were slain by attack made by this unit. You can heal all wounds allocated to this unit. 1 in every 3 can be a Hornblower. If it receives rally, then you get back on a 5-up. And 1 in every 3 can be a banner. Models in each unit can move 6 inches where they pile instead of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got that rule to teleport out of combat and you've got strike first, you could, and they heal as well.
10 points for 15 wounds as well just isn't bad, period.
7 attacks a model.
Yeah.
I assume they come as a 3, right?
Yeah, they come as a 3, 14-inch move, 4 up save, 15 wounds, 210. That's, that's...
I mean, they're only like, what, 15 points more expensive than eels?
Yeah.
More wounds.
Slightly, like, halfway between light and normal cavalry with hitting pretty hard.
Uh-huh.
Not massively resilient, but they shouldn't be. They look pretty good, really.
And then you've got the Revenant Seekers, which I guess are like the alternate ones for those. I don't understand why their lance doesn't give them bonus. Anyway, so Seekers have got a sickle. So they've still got a 2-inch reach, even though they've got a little sickle. 3 attacks, freeze, Ren 2 damage 2, and 3 attacks, freeze, Ren 1 damage, which is don't hit as reliable, but more damage, less attacks. They got the banner and the musician still. The harvesters of the lamentary. This is really badly taken photo, so I'm sorry about this. Once per turn at the end of your movement phase, you can pick 1 friendly Sylvaneth unit with a wounds category of 5, and that is wholly within 12 of this unit, and roll a dice. On a something, you can return 1. I can't read it. On a 2+, you can return. Can you read the rest of it? I can't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, wounds characteristic of 5 or less is wholly within 12 of this unit and roll a dice. On a 2+, you can return 1 slain model to that unit. You cannot pick the same unit to benefit from the ability more than once. So on a 2+, you return 1 slain thing as long as it's got 5 or less wounds. So it's an alright thing to have going on in your army.
Yeah, I mean you can do it with other units, right? So you can bring back other units.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the end of each phase, you can heal all wounds. So they're a bit weird. They're like a Healy version, like a buff support one.
Yeah.
Slower. But
yeah, it could be a bit annoying as an opponent, which is always a good thing to have. They just hang around, bring back a Kurnoth Hunter, bring back one of their own dudes, heal their wounds. 235 points. They're more, but the healing probably warrants that. Being able to heal another unit is quite a powerful ability to have zipping around the table.
Yeah, I mean, they're interesting, right?
Well, the heal happening at the end of your movement phase is interesting. Like, that's not normal. That's very flexible. You could use a run, if you thought it was worth it or something like that. Yeah.
Then we've got Kurnoth Hunters with bows. So 30 inches, 2 shots, freeze, Ren 1, 2 damage. While each unit is contested objective, friendly Sylvaneth units wholly within 6 are treated as being wholly within 6 of an overgrown terrain feature. So you turn objectives into overgrown. They've still got the stomp rule, so they do mortals. 5 wounds, 3 up armor save.
Just solid, like they've always been. 230 points.
Very expensive.
They are, yeah. They're not as resilient as they used to be because they used to seed the things, didn't they?
Reroll armor saves on it, but I think they had a 4 up. Now they got a 3 up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean 3 up's not bad. It's 30 inches is a long way as well. Like, you've got to put a price on being able to reach basically anywhere on the table with a 35-inch range with their move and it added together. But I mean, they're pretty elite. Is it too much, or is it?
I don't think you'll see them. They're too expensive.
Good thing to drop with
Hits on a 4.
Yeah, good thing to drop with Alariel as an option, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I know you've got like ways to get +1 hit, but like in that, I don't know. Nah, I'm not feeling those. Kurnoth Hunters with great swords. 4 attacks, 3 threes, 1/1, 2 damage. If you roll a 6, it's mortal wounds. I think with the new Galatian veterans, they wouldn't be because they're not good. They've got too many wounds. So yeah, don't think
points.
they're very good. Like, because you don't get to use that half-inch thing, do you?
250 points.
Yeah, no.
250 points again
Just
for the size.
Not seeing that.
Almost doesn't matter what you read at that points value. They're slow as well. Yeah,
they all are. Kurnoth Hunters with scythes. 5 wounds, 3 up save again, same. 2-inch reach, 3 attacks, 3 threes, rend 3 damage 2. That's a bit better. And if any models in this unit finish a pile-in move within 3 of any friendly units with this ability, the enemy unit suffers a mortal wound after all models have finished their pile-ins. I think they're good. How many points are they?
Same, 250.
They're better than the swords, right?
Oh yeah, they absolutely seem better than the swords. Yeah, both 250.
2-inch reach, so you can actually fight.
Rend 3 is a thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure about these because they're like resilient because they've got a 3 up armor save, right?
A very reliable unit. It's like trolls, but you just paid a lot for them.
Maybe they're just boring. I don't know. Like I just look at them and go,
just vanilla good. I mean, it's 15 undeniably elite wounds.
I mean, they're not awful, but I think they're just not very sexy, are they?
No, they're not.
The scythes, I think the scythes are probably the best ones
out of all of the options.
Yeah.
I don't know, like being able to pick something a long way away and make it dead has a value.
Yeah, but they've got those new archers for that, right? And they do mortals.
But the archers don't have the same range.
No, but they've got 12 and 12, and you could teleport through woods and shoot and stuff, can't you? So
yeah.
I mean, I know they're not the same range, but the boards aren't that big, right?
No, if you wanted someone to sit on your objectives and affect other objectives and just be like a vanilla choice that's fairly resilient, then I could see the bows.
I just don't think the bows, like, yeah, they're okay because you could be 30 inches away. But then as soon as you shoot a hero, it's 5s because it's our lookout sir and stuff.
Oh, you gotta buff their shooting to 3s. They're going to cost you a CP a turn.
Yeah. And maybe I think there's a way you can get +1 hit if you do that thing. And I can't remember what it is, but there's a way of hitting a unit and giving everything +1.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to take it. There's so many other good things in the book that take that slot.
Oh, your hero slots are so, they're cool and they're fun and they're quite expensive. Not for what you get, but there's a lot of 300 and something points values around there. Never mind Alariel.
I mean, even that, like the bug units, I think, are better and they're cheaper and they're faster and like
you can affect the board anywhere more easily.
Like the new bugs, I think, are probably better just because of the speed.
Yeah, very possibly.
You might have. I think you're going to take like one solid blob of scythe ones as a anvil, and then you're going to have other shit flying around.
Your opponent's got to respect the scythe ones.
Yeah,
even if you spent 500 points on them.
I mean, you take like 6.
YOLOing about.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 30 wounds, 3 up armor save.
They take a CP
could have a 5 up or a 6 up ward.
Oh, they take a CP spend on them so well. 2s and 3s rend 3 damage to you. That's kind of muller stuff.
Plus, if you've got a Spite Revenant hanging around, giving them bonuses, right? Because he buffs them, right?
Yeah, 2s and 3s.
Did he buff Hunters? It was Hunters. I think it was Hunters he buffs, right? SYLVANETH, Kurnoth Hunters, yeah.
Yeah.
Add 1 to wound rolls. So again,
2s and 2s.
That doesn't affect. It affects the shooting because it's attacks, but it doesn't affect the hit roll for the shooting.
Super swingy.
I'm sure there was a way to buff the hit roll, but pass. There'll be an ability somewhere. They've got quite a lot of. There's a lot going on in this book. It's quite techy.
Yeah, it is a techy book. Without there being too much written down, I think it'll be a good one for.
I think the real power's in the magic phase, right?
get their reps in.
In the hero phase, it's the spells, right? That's where the power comes from.
Healing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Healing everywhere.
And they've got good shooting on the characters. So if you take the characters as well, you could do quite a nasty. I think
It's
the
quite
army's
elite.
It is, but it's good elite, and you've got some healing. You've got some bring units back. You've got to bring models back. You can do a healing type list. Yeah, I think there's a lot of options really. Dryads, so 7-inch move, 1 wound, 5 up save, 2-inch reach, 2 attacks, force falls, no red 1 damage. Subtract 1 from hit rolls and wound rolls. For attacks that target unit works within 9 of a friendly overgrown or awakened wildwood. So pretty good at -1 to wound and a hit.
Yeah, on a 5 up save, 100 points of 10. Kind of do what they should do for vanilla battle line.
I think they're quite cheap for what they are. Yeah, I like those.
7-inch move, yes please.
2-inch reach, and also the fact that you're -1/-1, that's can't be underestimated. And if you get that spell off from the Lady of Vines with a 5-up ward, or you take the burgeoning for 6-up ward, that's pretty good as a defensive unit. Sucker them in and get the spells going.
And maybe consider taking these in 20s as well.
Yeah, I would.
Just so you don't give away your stuff, because
Decolation veterans as well.
Exactly.
So you could make them as count as 3 on objectives and have 3 as a 10. That's only 300 points.
Yeah, I can definitely see 20s just so they don't give stuff away or get wiped out, because you can be able to heal them and stuff in the armies as well. For you revenants, I'll also battle line. So 2 wounds, 5-inch move, 5 up save, 1 attack with Enchanted Blade, 2 attacks, 4s and 3s, rend 1, damage 1. And you can arm their champion with a Protector Glaive, 2 attacks, 4s and 3s, rend 1, damage 2. Musician, have a Waypiper. At the start of your movement phase, it can walk the spirit path instead of making a normal move. Remove it and put it anywhere on the battlefield. Nothing to do with woods. More than 9 from all enemy units. Martial Memories. Once per battle round, this unit can receive all-out attack or all-out defense command without it being issued and without it being spent. Sure.
It's good because it just doesn't count towards your limit of issuing it.
No, 110 points for your 10 wounds. That feels absolutely fair.
Well, they're the same wound count as the Dryads technically, because they got 2 each rather than 1. They got a teleport, slightly better combat profile. Are they just better than Dryads?
I think you
get 5 less bodies, 5 less capture.
You do.
But do you just take 3 units of these?
I could see you having 20 Dryads, 20 Dryads, 5 of these in an army. Definitely. I think that's the way that I'd run it probably. Both valid. He's probably doing shit out a bit though, I think.
And then Spite Revs, same profile basically. I think they got 1 less bravery. Same. 3 attacks, freeze, no rend, 1 damage. Murder hit roll for Talons and Fangs is a 6. They take a mortal wound. Mortals.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
For 5 of them, and they can be battle line in Dreadwood.
Every so you say Dreadwood, I keep thinking of Jedwood, the two annoying twin guys.
These guys shaved their Jedwood hair off a long time ago.
But if you actually, I don't know what it is, but if you think about it, like, so say you had a unit of 15 of them.
Yep.
That's 45 dice.
Yeah, they get to attack now with the new rules as well.
So 45 dice every 6 as a mortal?
Yeah.
That's not shit.
315 points. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of dice.
It's a ton of dice.
And especially if you're running like Drycha and stuff, I'm sure like, I think
Tree Revenants in an aggro 10 might also not be awful. Get to buff themselves with 3, so they'd be 3s and 3s, rend 1 damage 1 with quite a lot of very average attacks, isn't it? Teleporting around.
I mean, I like the fact you could just, there's a space there. I'm just going to teleport and play patient.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I think I'd rather put points into these than into bow Kurnoth Hunters.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, on the plus side, you don't have to build the Kurnoth Hunters as well, which is another bonus.
It is a distinct bonus.
We've got Skaif's Wild Hunt, which is the Underworld Warband. some rules. It's a wizard as well. Unit can run, shoot, or charge. It's got a 7 cast, 12-inch range. Pick a silver unit in range. Add 1 to wound rolls for melee weapons. But you've got quite a lot of ways to buff that anyway. They're Oaken Brow. Oaken Brow as well. That's quite cheap.
Yeah, 110 points for a wizard is just already fine, no matter what.
Scathe, Aethin, Kain, Shook, Legan. So it's like 5 of them.
6 wounds.
6 wounds, yeah. And then you've got a bow, a javelin, some stuff. It's quite a lot of attacks. I mean,
1 to wound rolls made for melee weapons from a spell is great as well.
What's nice about that is you cast it on the Sylvaneth unit, and then they can fuck off, right, and teleport and an attack. So not bad. I mean, the Oaken Brow. So like, I mean, I could see it being in a list. Like, it's not awful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice models. No. Like,
yeah, they are.
Because you get some war dance type models from the old days, you know. So
nice little varied warband.
Ylfari.
Yep. And his guardians.
Yeah. So it's a wizard. 1 attack for the staff. Some stuff. Don't care. Reroll wound rolls of 1 for attacks made by the model. Sure. Spell Reaping on a 6, range 12. Pick an enemy unit in range. Roll a 6 dice every 5 ups and mortal. Meh. Whatever. Yeah. Revenant Bow. Some stuff. They're just unit of Revenants, basically. Reroll wound rolls of 1 for attacks made by the unit. I mean, like, sure.
180 points for him and his 3 friends.
It's okay.
Not a bad amount of wounds for a wizard of that, but you're not low on wizards in this book, so.
Yeah, I'm going to see players at. Endless Spells then. Yeah. Glade Worm. I love this model.
It's wicked.
Only wizards can Sylvan faction can cast it on a 7, range of 6, set up 1 Glade Worm. So it moves 8. After the end of the spell moved, roll a dice for each unit within 1 inch. On a 3 up takes D3 mortal wounds. Doesn't do anything to Sylvaneth. After this is moved, roll a dice for each Sylvaneth unit within 6. On a 3 up, heal D3 wounds allocated. So that's a pretty good life swarm.
50 points.
It's cheap as well.
Yeah. Flexibility is nice.
Spite Swarm Hive on a 7, range of 15. Pick up the Hive. End of the player's hero phase. If a Sylvaneth Wizard or Sylvaneth Hero in the army is within 9, you can use one of the abilities. Vital Venoms. Pick a friendly Sylvaneth unit only within 9 of this unit. On a 2+, add 3 inch to normal moves, charge moves to the end of the turn. So it's quite nice. You can do that and then teleport through the wood thing to get a charge. Which might help your battle tactic. Thinking the same thing. And then you've got another one, which is Shielding Swarm. Pick a Sylvaneth unit out of 9 on a 2 up, worsen the render attacks a target unit to a minimum of 1. That's really good against like Scythe Hunters.
Yeah, it is good.
You know, points on that one?
40.
Pretty good. Yeah, if you got the spare 50, 40 points, you probably take it, right? I mean, like,
absolutely. Yeah.
I probably prefer the heal, but it depends on your army composition, I guess. Vengeful Skull Root. Castle 6, range of a 6, can move 8, flies. If a unit fails a battle shock test within 3 of it, add D3 to the number of models that run away. Sylvaneth don't care. After it's moved, roll a dice for each unit that's any model pathed across, or is within 1 inch at the end. The move on a 2 up, D3 mortal wounds, or D6 mortal wounds if it's also within 6 Awakened Wildwoods. No effect on Sylvaneth. Sure, not so hot on that one, but
60 points as well.
And then we've got the Awakened Wildwood finally. So after territory is set up, you can set up this faction terrain wholly within your territory, more than 3 inches from all objectives, terrain features. If both players can set up faction terrain features at the same time, they must roll off, and the winner chooses who will set up their faction terrain features first. When you set up this terrain feature, it can be set up with either small, medium, large, consists of 1 sigil piece, 2 or 3. If this is set up as a medium or large, all of it must be touched so they're touching, forming a circle. Blah, yada, yada. Abilities allow you to add an Awakened Wildwood to your army during the battle. Will tell you how to set it up. They also specify the maximum number of senior pieces it can consist of. In addition, it must be set more than 3 from all enemy models, objectives, terrain, and a spell, invocations, unless noted otherwise. Overgrown Wilderness. Visibility from units with a Sylvaneth keyword is not blocked by this terrain feature. Okay, so it must block line of sight. Don't know where I've seen that, but sure. At the end of the charge phase, roll a dice for each unit that does not have Sylvaneth keyword within 1 inch of any Wildwoods. Add 2 to roll if any wizards or endless spells are within 6 of the Wildwood. that is within 1 inch of the unit being rolled 4 on a 6 up, take D3 mortal wounds.
I know, fairly
So many
inconsequential.
words.
You use them for other stuff. Yeah.
I guess Wildwood rules is what blocks line of sight, right? That's in the main rules.
I think so, yeah.
And it's an awakened Wildwood. But, yeah. Wow, so many rules. So, that's it, really.
That is it.
Points we've done, but we've got it on the screen.
Seems like a pretty... I like that as a book. You know, there's not too much... There's not too many units, but there's a fair amount of depth to it. There's a load of flexibility to building stuff. Some of the things seem like maybe you wouldn't consider them, but quite, you know, 3/4 of it at least. Pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've got... I think the gaps the army had, like, you didn't have, like, fast combat-y stuff. You've got the Revenant Seekers and the other ones. That
The Healy
like,
Beetles are pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly, I think. And then you've got, like, Spite Revenants that do mortals now. You've got those Lancers, which can be battle line as well. The Seekers, which do the healing. And you've got the Kernoff Hunters. I don't know. I think maybe because they're feel a bit tired.
230, like 220, not too...
The Gossamer Archers are good. I think the Tree Lord Ancient probably won't see play now that you've got these other casters. You might do, but I just don't see it.
Vanilla Tree Lords for 250 still, like, you know, like I could see just blobbing one in. Why not?
I think the problem,
ASL.
Yeah, I think the problem is when you've got like the Lady of Vines, the Warsong Revenant, they compete for the spot that the Ancient had, especially the Warsong Revenant. You know, it just gives you those options. Drycha seems solid. The Branch Witch is probably a bit mediocre.
Yeah, agreed on that. Tree
Revs, Dryads, great. You know, Arch Revenant's really decent buff piece.
Yeah.
I think if I was doing Sylvaneth, I'd really like to just not... I'd go like a unit of Scythe Hunters, probably a unit of the Gossamid, maybe 1 or 2 of those, and then the combat Lancers, some infantry, and then just characters, and just spam that round. So Alarielle seems great, but I don't think I want to run her. So
yeah, you're at like 1,400 points before you added characters to that with that list. So couple characters in there, three if they're smaller.
Yeah, I mean, like you sort of go like a unit of 6, blob of 6, and then put in like maybe like 20 Dryads, 2 5s, 1 unit of combat Beetle guys. Maybe not bother with the Gossamids, then probably go for something like, you know, Warsong, Lady of Vines, and maybe a Daddy D or something. I don't know, something like that.
The book seems quite well measured for one of those ones where like the people who know it are going to know it inside out and back to front, and it'll be their book for forever, and they'll play it, and it'll feel like more than the sum of its parts. For sure, it feels like it's got pretty much the right tone for it.
Yeah, and the Warsong Revenant, it's a shame, Drycha and the Lady of Vines are not sub-commanders, but the Warsong Revenant is. That's why I think you'll see that. You'll see Warsong and Archer Revenant, I think, and then a character, like a big character.
They got the low wounds profile.
Yeah, because you need to have less than 10. That's why the Branch Witch might slot in, but I think you'll see the Archer Revenant over that. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's never really been an army that's appealed to me massively, but I think they seem expensive, right?
Yeah, they do. You know, elite, but when you're automatically getting a powerful spell off and you're doing some other stuff, all these little things are going to add up. So I think everything you just have to consider with what you'd be taking it with, what you'd be buffing it with, what you'd be wearing, what command trait you'd be taking, that type of stuff.
They feel very deepkin to me.
Yeah. Like LV.
Like when you synergize the stuff, it's going to do very well. But looking at the war scrolls on their own, they seem a bit pricey, and you're gonna have to make some concessions.
Yeah,
they've certainly got a good choice of stuff, though.
It's not going to play like it doesn't play like a normal army. You don't put in like a stodgy unit and then charge elite characters in. You put in like 3-up save characters, and then have your units, you know, bobbing around the edge, doing techie stuff, healing things, being as irritating as possible. And unless it's like Scythe Hunters, you don't have. There's no grind there. In the units, you just got to get it from the characters, which is quite unique and quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, like hunters have got a free up armor save. You can get reward. I think.
Yeah,
I think you can have a grindy blob of hunters, or you can go down
maybe
this.
It's a 1/6, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
probably.
And you could even do it with a 30 dryads. Do you know what I mean? Like 300 points, -1/-1, like
dodge block. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Not going anywhere. I mean, I quite like it. I think it's good. I like that you've got the flexibility, got the options. I think the overgrown terrain really helps because you're not forcing yourself to go first to put woods down in the gaps because you don't need to worry about that.
That's huge. Yeah, completely.
And Alariel's like once per game turn all the terrain could be impactful if you've got a gap where you can teleport in or something, you know.
Competing all the phases of the game, you know. From a unit perspective, maybe not the combat phase, but the characters got pretty solid combat phases. And again, the scythe blob, that's definitely got a combat phase, a really reliable one at that. You got high quality shooting throughout all the hero suite, pretty much. High quality damage spells, high quality healy spells. Like it's going to do a little bit of everything in every phase fairly reliably by the looks of things.
Yeah, it's a flexible army, and then it's a shame they don't have like the season mechanic, like cycling in the game or something like that, or like pick before. I'd quite like it if it was like pick before the battle.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I like that it's simple.
It was pick your army, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, it has to be noted on roster.
Because I was thinking that might be cool if you could, after you pick your army, which season on the list. Yeah, it's a shame because it would be not cool if you could choose the season each game. So you could
None
be
of them are overpowered.
Yeah, and I think like that would be nice if you were playing like because it's a bit like Crawl Boys' Dirty Tricks or like the Tides and stuff.
Like they've gone to war and they've left their woods in their season, so
yeah,
it fit in thematically. It feels like Fire Slayer's, you know, fairly balanced. A couple of things maybe you wouldn't take, but lots of viable options.
Yeah, I think there's a space for everything. I'm quite interested to see what the outcast stuff's like because 3 attacks on Model 6s do mortals. It's not shit. So
no, it isn't. It's small footprint.
Yeah, I mean I know there were 32s, but because of the Galatian veteran thing, fighting in 2 ranks, probably good. Interesting. It's a bit weird that the hunters are 5 wounds, so they're not veterans, but they have more capture power. But then they could be. This is why I like the Lancers because I think they're going to be a really good bounty hunter unit.
Yeah,
because they can charge what they want. They're like eels. They're basically eels, right? I mean,
eels, but instead of having a save, they just have a run away.
And they strike first. So if you had multiple units, they all strike first. So you could you could have an army of like 3 units of 6.
And they're the ones that can get the 12-inch move.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then become battle line.
12 inches is nuts. You don't have to be aggressive with that either. You could be weird with it.
Well, they move 12, then they move 14, then they charge you, then they fight you first across every unit, and then one of them can fuck off.
Dummy your opponent out with that potential as well. It's an interesting deployment.
I think that's right. We're getting that right. You have to excuse my brain's a bit fried today from the content recording, but at the end of each phase, if any models were slain, you can heal. The strike first effect applies to this unit if it made a charge. So you could charge multiple and all have strike first, right?
Yeah.
Their battle line and harvest boon, I think.
Harvest boon, yeah. After deployment, but before the first battle round begins, you can move each Lancers and Revenant Seekers
12.
Yeah. 12 is tons.
That's pretty. You could make a pretty aggressive army with that, couldn't you?
Really
let's be honest, like if you had 3 units of 6, I mean, how many points is that? Like they're 210 each, so it's 420. Yes. So it's going to be 1260.
It's not too much.
That's your 3 battle line.
3 units going first.
It's 90 wounds.
Yeah,
you've not even gone. That's pretty good. I mean,
like it's not bad.
They all charge, they all strike. Flexible. 1 unit can just fade off. If you don't kill something, you think, oh, I'm going to get hit hard, you can just fade away.
Yeah.
Combine that with like characters and, you know, if you can get your dude in range. I don't think he buffs them, does he? He buffs hunters.
You can get healing as well.
Yeah.
in that list, which is kind of interesting, really.
Because I think he buffs hunters. Command ability, add 1 to the attacks of melee weapons, so start the combat phase. So he could be your general to get an 18-inch issue. You could end up with +1 attack on those guys because they're Sylvaneth, so you could have 5 attacks for rider and 3 attacks for the mount.
Bad.
Yeah, I mean,
With it jumping away for free.
The Seeker unit might be interesting because you could use them as the because they hit on that's where you put your +1 to hit on them. I'm sure there's some more combos in here. It's like it's a very technical book, I think.
I think the healing is healing is just always powerful, especially in elite armies.
Yeah, and
there's the potential summoning as well. Got a Lady of Vines, you know. Oh yeah, on a 2+, I dropped 10 Dryads for free.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think like that's more kind of thing that I would. It feels like the decent EOL list, right? Like the EOL list, which is good. But yeah, it's out on pre-order today. If you're interested, pick it up, support us, click through the link.
Below, guys.
Go to Element. That's the Sylvaneth review. I mean, we don't know the army that well, so we're just reading it out and trying to come up with some ideas and give us some thoughts. Obviously, I think it's a massive improvement from where they are right now, because they've just added a load of new stuff.
Yeah, things have been cleared up, thrown up vines and stuff like that. Like the spell suite's very good. It makes sense. All the book makes sense, actually, apart from the battle tactics and grand strategies, which are awful.
Yeah, and that might be an issue in the next handbook going forward.
Yeah.
But I think that they're flexible, do something every phase. You've got resiliency, you've got infantry, you've got movement, you've got shooting, you've got monsters, which are resilient. You've got good magic, good. Alariel seems great.
She seems awesome.
Not an auto include, but lists are still viable with her, I think. So
for sure.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good book, actually.
Popular list below, guys. Genuinely interested to see, upon seeing that, what your first idea is for a list, and if it doesn't come out at 2,200 points, which is what most elite armies come out the first time you try.
Yeah, so that's what my one would be like. Someone go, oh, it's already like 2,500. I like something that looks aesthetically pleasing. So
yeah, big good looking army too.
It's spike revs and then take the Gossamer, and then you've got and you take the Warsong Revenant and the dude, and it's all that look, you know, that spike Revenant type.
Absolutely.
Type look. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for watching. Check out our Skaven, which will probably just be me, but we can check that one out, and the General's Handbook review show. Let us know what you think, and if you liked it, give us a like. Helps us. Tell your friends, whatever. And join our Discord.
Markers back in stock. Grab some so you can run 24 inches across the table and then fade away after killing someone on them.
Always strike first across your whole army. I mean, my Nef would hate this. Discharge me on turn 1. Just delete everything. Cool. Game over. Thanks. It's fine.
Coming soon.
Coming soon to a theatre of war near you. Who needs sustain? It's fine. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, let us know what you think, and we'll talk to you in the next one.
See you in the next one, guys. Bye.
Bye.